everybody. So for today we have a Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl leak to talk about, and this is a Rocko leak. So Rocko is our next Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl character, and the final DLC character in the Universe Pack DLC for All-Star Brawl. Rocko is due out at some point in the fall, so my plan was to wait until the fall started to do a predictions video for Rocko, but a leak has already appeared for him. So just in case more stuff leaks for Rocko, probably best if I get my predictions out there in this video instead of waiting until the autumn. But before I do that, let's talk about this Rocko leak. Okay, so I first saw this leak got noticed by the Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl Discord, after a link to a website was posted by Wario64 over on Twitter. The Wario64 tweet says, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl Universe Pack DLC is $7.39 on Fanatical with code LABOR8. Alright, so no big deal, right? Basically just advertising a deal right now for the Universe Pack being on sale on this website called Fanatical. However, if you click the link and actually look closely at the image of Rocko they're showing here, it is not the render we've seen of him. He's supposed to be in his usual blue shirt with the purple triangles, but instead here he's in a purple shirt with a single button and his name monogrammed onto it. So this is not the image of the Universe Pack characters that we've seen before, and likely this is actually an accidental leak of Rocko's alternate costume render. The shirt is from the Gutter Balls episode of Rocko's Modern Life, where Mr. Bighead invites Rocko, Heifer, and Filbert to go bowling, so that the team he's coaching can beat them and win a trophy. Hilariously, the team uniforms Mr. Bighead gives Rocko and his pals has their team name written on the back, and the team name is The Losers on the back of the shirt. So that's a pretty great choice for alternate costume, as I always personally found the fact that despite their team being called The Losers, spoiler alert, in the end their team is the one that wins the trophy. Great joke and hilarious uniforms, awesome pick for alternate costume. Alright, cool, so Rocko's alt costume is leaked. Well, I should probably point out that in my last Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl video, the one where I was half talking about a leak for Nickelodeon Kart Racers 3 Slime Speedway, towards the end of that video, I briefly mentioned how I'd do a Rocko predictions video in the future, and that you should probably be on the lookout for that video if you're interested in Rocko. Well, I showed some images when I said that as kind of a teaser for my Rocko predictions, and wouldn't you know it, I showed a bunch of images of Rocko's bowling shirt outfit from the Gutter Balls episode, as that was my prediction for his alternate costume. I also showed Rocko's house out in space, which was my stage prediction, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But I just think it's really interesting that the bowling uniform has now leaked as his alternate costume, since Rocko has lots and lots of potential alternate costume options out there, literally like hundreds of different possible choices they could have gone with for him, and yet somehow my prediction was right here. I guess we'll just have to make some more Rocko predictions in this video, and we'll have to wait and see if those predictions also end up coming true. But first, there's something else I want to talk about. About a week or so ago, I saw a gaming news article for a new version of Nickelodeon All-Star Brawls, and this article says, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl Ultimate Edition coming to PS4 and Switch on November 24th. This Ultimate Edition includes all updates for the past year, including various balance adjustments and additional voices. This edition also includes 3 characters that will be added with the Season Pass, with a total of 25 unique characters to play with. So apparently, a Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl Ultimate Edition is releasing on November 24th. The image for the Ultimate Edition has a subtitle written in some other language. It appears to be Japanese, but I don't know for sure what it is. Outside of this article, though, I haven't heard an official announcement for this Ultimate Edition, so I'm unsure what to make of this whole Ultimate Edition thing. It is perhaps maybe only a foreign release of the game with all of the DLC added up to this point included? Or are we actually getting a international release of this Ultimate Edition in November everywhere, and the fact that it just has that Japanese subtitle writing on the image is coincidental. Can't say for certain, but considering this is advertised as having all 25 characters, including the Universe Pack DLC characters, I feel like if we were getting more fighters after the Universe Pack DLC, they'd hold off on doing an Ultimate Edition until the game's full roster had been released. So the very existence of an Ultimate Edition at all heavily implies that could be it for Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl DLC. That is just an assumption though, but this Ultimate Edition certainly casts a lot of doubt over the possibility of getting future DLC characters. Again, this edition appears to be foreign, and we've heard no confirmation of either the DLC ending at Rocko, or even that the Ultimate Edition of this game will be releasing internationally, or maybe it's just some odd release for the foreign market or something. So we'll just have to be patient and see what happens with this Ultimate Edition, and see if we'll be getting any more fighters after Rocko added to the game or not. We'll just have to keep an eye on all that. It's still unclear. But unfortunately, this Ultimate Edition happening at all makes me think potentially this could be it for DLC. Alright, so speaking of Rocko, let's talk about him. With his alt costume leaking, and my prediction for that costume being accurate, I guess I'll predict some more Rocko stuff now, in case anything else leaks for him before I get a chance to throw out some more predictions. Since my last prediction did come true, if you're trying to avoid spoilers, perhaps it would be best to stop watching this video now, just in case my other predictions come true as well. Alright, so I predict Rocko will have this The Losers bowling uniform outfit from the Gutterballs episode as his alternate costume, and that this image is indeed a leak for that. In this leaked image, we can't see Rocko's shoes here, but I'm predicting the bowling shoes that go with this shirt from the episode will be part of his alternate costume as well. I briefly showed it in my last Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl video, but my prediction for Rocko's stage is his house floating in space with the Conglamo rocket going through it. This would be a reference to both the Future Schlock episode, which was basically the last episode of Rocko's Modern Life, save for I think some holiday specials which aired slightly later on, and the much more recent 2019 Rocko's Modern Life movie, Static Cling, which also has the house in space. Static Cling was essentially a sequel to the Future Schlock ending of that episode, where Rocko's house and the Conglamo rocket are in space. So I predict you'll fight in Rocko's living room, with much of the house looking rather destroyed in outer space. And it'll sort of be like a Mishima Dojo style stage from Smash Bros, with the walls blown out on either side, but still having a ceiling, made up of the top of Rocko's house and the Conglamo rocket. This stage is in space, so of course a lot of the stuff is going to be floating. The classic Rocko couch and like the table lamp and stuff, that'll all be floating around a bit. And of course, what would Rocko's living room be without a static television set? So that'll be there too. And I predict probably a cactus will be there as well, as cacti were in a lot of Rocko episodes. Also a bunch of random junk like chicken wings, toilet paper, drinks, playing cards, baseballs, all sorts of random junk will float around everywhere since it's in space. And also some picture frames will be floating around too, like in the Static Cling movie. Rocko's tiled-floored kitchen and Rocko's bathroom should be visible in the background of the stage as well from the living room, since the kitchen and bathroom are classic locations from several episodes. Probably we'll have some meteorites or asteroid platforms outside the main living room stage too. And you can see Earth from space in the background of the stage. Earth could even have some visible mountains and maybe even a visible O-Town with the Conglamo building towering over it. And while we're going to be referencing the Future Schlock episode, how about adding some of those space banana guys? Those guys were always really hilarious, and that episode had such a great ending after finding that old banana in the refrigerizer. Alright, so that's my stage predictions. As for Rocko's moveset predictions, I predict his stage entrance will likely be him splatting onto the ground like he does in the beginning of the Rocko's Modern Life show opening theme song. He'll probably also use his brain popping out of his head as an attack, since he does that all the time in the show. Rocko, of course, is a professional jackhammer-er, so he's got to have his jackhammer as part of his moveset too. And the show has lots of toilet jokes, so why not give him a plunger attack as well? And Rocko uses a fishing pole quite often, so he should incorporate one of those into his moveset too. And the Conglamo rocket, of course, doesn't have to be the only rocket Rocko brings to Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. Maybe he can use a much smaller one too. Alright, well that's all of my Rocko predictions. So my predictions for Rocko end right here. But there is plenty of other stuff that I'm not going to be predicting that I'd also love to see Rocko reference in some way. Stuff like Turdy, Filbert's dead bird, or honestly anything from Wacky Deli would be great too. Or the inappropriate stuff the show slipped by us back in the day, something like that. Those have kind of become memes, so getting one of those somehow referenced in here would be great too. But we will have to wait and see if any of my predictions come true, or if any of the other cool stuff Rocko could reference could show up with them that were not part of my predictions. Alright, so the big question is, will Rocko be the end of Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl DLC characters? I don't know. The Ultimate Edition could be a sign of the game ending, but they haven't confirmed that for certain yet. Timmy got into the Nickelodeon tennis game, and the voice actress for Jimmy Neutron commentated on the Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl tournament event, and Jimmy's showing up in that Nickelodeon Kart Racer 3 Slime Speedway game. So I'd love to get a Timmy Jimmy Power Hour DLC pack after the Universe pack ends with Rocko, but I truly have no idea if that will happen or not. And again, we have yet to be directly told that the game is over after Rocko, so we'll have to wait and see what happens after the Universe pack ends, and potentially wait and see if this Ultimate Edition shows up everywhere or not, or what's going on with that, and if that's the end of the game. Last video, I talked briefly about how some random alternate taunt animations were found in the game's code. Thaddeus Cruz weighed in on this a bit and said these were originally made apparently as some sort of fun button that would just cause neat character animations and could lead to cool idle pose animations and the taunts for the characters. But that, I guess, was all scrapped and they just have normal taunts for characters instead. But Thaddeus also ended saying, "It'd be a shame to let all of these simply go unused. I'm sure we'll figure something out." And considering some of these animations that people found in the game's code are for Hugh and Jenny, and those characters having them, those are DLC characters, that would not be a relic from some early build of the game. Those would have had to be made for some of these DLC characters after already scrapping the idea of the fun button concept. So I imagine something will happen with these weird extra animations. Probably we'll see whatever they plan to do with them, releasing alongside Rocko if I had to guess. But who knows for sure what will happen with those animations. Alright, well that's everything I want to talk about in this video. Really cool to see Rocko's alternate costume leak, and I hope more of my predictions still come true for Rocko. Also, kind of bad news to hear about that Ultimate Edition, but we don't know for sure if the game is over after Rocko or what's going on with Ultimate Edition, so we'll just have to wait and see what's up with that one. If you have any thoughts or comments about any of the stuff I talked about in this video, leave them below.
Remember to like the video, leave a comment in the section below, and subscribe to Papa Gino's
Twitter, Patreon, Discord, Twitch.